It's 2023, and the movie is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And the first song you hear is the theme song to Welcome Back, Mr. Carter. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Another Marvel movie for you. Already said the title. You already saw the picture. You already clicked on the video. It's Ant-Man. Phase 5 has begun. Directed by Peyton Reed, written by someone that worked on Rick and Morty. Feels like a Rick and Morty episode for sure. It's got Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp, but you also got Jonathan Majors as Kang, you got Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, you got Catherine Newton, you got William Jackson Harper, you got a whole slew of people. Not going to ruin the one cameo that I saw that I was not expecting. But yeah, basically what happens is Catherine Newton plays Cassie, Scott's daughter, and she makes an oopsie. She makes basically a satellite for the quantum realm, and then they are all just sucked into the quantum realm. Turns out that Kang was looking for Michelle Pfeiffer, and that's the plot of the movie. Things happen after that. I'll go into spoilers in a little bit. This is the big setup to Kang, who is the multiversal saga enemy. Basically, what we see is a version that has been trapped down into the quantum realm, and he wants to get out. And the way Jonathan Majors plays it is very like too cool for school, but in a way that you're just like, he feels that he's right? And he knows he can't be wrong. And so he's doing things that are to that. So he's doing certain moves and gestures and actions in the movie that he thinks will get him from point A to point B. Point B being destroying all the multiverses and having just one continuous timeline, which is what we saw in Loki. Critics obviously are mixed about this movie. It does not have a good rating on Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic. I will say critics are both right and wrong about this movie. What they're right about, it does feel episodic. What they're wrong about is that this is not anything new to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It has been episodic since 2012. It has basically been that way forever. What they're right about in the terms of episodic is there's really no preamble to this movie. There's no prologue. We basically get, the whole family gets back together, Cassie's in jail, getting in and out of jail, and then they get sucked into the quantum realm. There's not really, you don't get any time to just be in the presence of the Ant-Man family because they're immediately sucked into the plot of the movie. And so that's kind of a bummer that we don't get to see anything outside of the movie. It feels like they cut some stuff. It's not a bad Marvel movie. At this point, you take Marvel movies as a whole separate entity. They are superhero movies in general, actually. They are their own thing. They are blockbuster roller coasters. Scorsese was right about that. So there's a whole spectrum of roller coaster rides that are good, that are bad, and some that are just, you go on it knowing it's an average roller coaster ride. And I think that's what Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was. Now, a few of my complaints are that the Wasp, not really much happening for her in this movie. She's kind of sidelined. She just shoots her little blasters a lot. Another thing is there's just so much people, things, animals, creatures, aliens, beings showing up that I just, at some point, my eyes just glazed over and I was like, I don't know who any of these people are. Please just get to the action. Now, what's good about this movie is obviously Jonathan Majors as Kang, but I think where it leaves Scott, Paul Rudd's character, at the end is probably a great start for what's going to be a crazy ride for Ant-Man. I don't know if he's going to show up in other Marvel movies, but basically he's left just like stuck between, he's in a quandary basically. He's like, you know, happy-go-lucky and existential dread. And I like that juxtaposition because You get the goofy, good side of Paul Rudd that everybody loves, but then you get some, you get some deviation from who he is in all these Marvel movies. And it wouldn't be an Ant-Man movie if there wasn't some ants. And I like what they did with the ants. But also, I don't know how they're going to explain that away, or what's going to happen with the ants, basically. Because what happens with the ants in this movie, they basically become Ultron. They basically become Ultron in a way. And I'm not going to spoil it too much outside of the spoilers, but, ants, am I right? I'm going to talk about MODOK. The way his face looks, he's just corny. It's just a corny thing. I'm glad that MODOK has finally been introduced in the MCU and it is gone. We don't need any more MODOK. I understand people love MODOK and they may not like this interpretation of MODOK, but it was fine. I like that they made fun of the name. I like that Corey Stoll as Darren got the tiniest bit of redemption, even though it was played for laughs. Another thing is that the Council of Kangs, we see them. It's interesting. It's very, when I say it's very Rick and Morty, this is what I mean. It's just like Council of Kangs, okay, a Council of Ricks. It's a very similar concept. I know Kang became before Rick, but when you do something in the mainstream media, it sort of blends together. People are like, oh, you stole that from that, but Kang was first. Anyway, I'm interested to see where they go with the Council of Kangs, because, they got all different versions, but they all use the Mr. Fantastic entrance from Multiverse of Madness. As we know, Kang is related to Mr. Fantastic, so we will see how that works. I have a complaint with a lot of what I've been seeing online in regards to Kang, this version of Kang we saw in the movie. People are like, why would you kill him off immediately? Did you not see the probability storm part? He's not gone. He's stuck inside of that battery, basically. He's stuck inside that quantum battery. And he's going through a probability storm right now, trying to figure his way out. So that Kang, I think, is the Kang that we will see in 2025. He will break out somehow, and he will restore the timelines and all types of stuff. So, when people are mad that this Kang is gone, just know it's a comic book movie. No one is ever gone, not even Robert Downey Jr. So hold your horses, because Phase 5 literally just started, okay? I don't know what else to tell you. That Kang is coming back. He is. There's going to be other Kangs that lose, but that's the one. That's the one. They wouldn't show us this one so much if they weren't going to bring him back. And if I'm wrong, Marvel's big idiots. They're big dummies for not bringing that one back. Low key, he shows up. And I'm pumped for season 2. That's all. I would give this 6 out of 10 Kangs. It's not the worst Marvel movie. It's not the best. It is better than Thor: Love and Thunder. I think there was some stuff cut out of this, as with, I feel like it's a trend with all Marvel movies recently. Well, just Thor: Love and Thunder and this. I think stuff has been cut out to make sure it hits 2 hours rather than be like a 3-hour movie. I'm okay with these movies being 3 hours. You have built up our trust, so trust us that we will understand and be okay with some slow parts in our action movies. It's okay. But yeah, 6 out of 10. Kang's really great. Jonathan Majors really great. Paul Rudd's great. Some of the characters have been sidelined. I'm interested to see where they go with Phase 5. That's it. I don't know why I'm reaching out to the camera. See? Un esercito di prodi